Testing 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. If you can hear me, yes? Okay, very good. Good. So please turn on all your videos, all the cameras, so I can see you. Very nice. Hello, everyone, and namaste to you. It's so nice to see some of you. I haven't seen you for a very long time. Geo, Barbara, hi. So before we go on with today's masterclass on the yoga of perfect accomplishment, let's just take a moment to close the eyes and internalize the awareness. Bring yourself to a state of interiorization, pratyahara. And take a deep breath and open your eyes. Good. So let's look at the very name of the title, the Yoga of Perfect Accomplishment. As you know, the word yoga means union, unification, like a fusion, a tuning in, bringing together between the microcosm and the macrocosm. The human being, that is the microcosm, and the vast universe, that's the macrocosm. That the microcosm and the macrocosm are constantly in a certain dance, in a certain movement, in a certain relationship with each other. And for most people, most of the time, this relationship between the microcosm and the macrocosm is extremely unconscious. And because it is so unconscious, it is rather mediocre. And with yoga, what the yogis have attempted to do is, they didn't attempt, they did, with the grace of Shiva and with the system that was given to them and through them to us that comes from Shiva, the system of yoga is to bring a conscious way of making a certain correspondence or a relationship with the universe, a resonance with the universe. And we also know that yoga and the methods of yoga, the various parts of yoga, every technique in yoga is always making resonance, making you attuned to some beneficial, superior energy of the universe, something that is going to lead towards happiness, peace, contentment, spiritual freedom, love, the spiritual virtues, the spiritual principles. That's what the practices of yoga and the parts of yoga are bringing us in resonance with, in attunement with the macrocosm, the universe. So that's yoga. And then let's look upon this thing called the perfect accomplishment, because today is about talking about the yoga of the perfect accomplishment. And we can interpret the words perfect accomplishment in so many different ways. We can go from the best, the highest, the absolute definition of it would be, what is the perfect accomplishment in yoga? The yoga of the perfect accomplishment would be nothing less than the state of samadhi itself, the highest state of samadhi, the nirvikalpa samadhi. That's not now going into the Kashmiri Shaivism samadhi, the Unmila, the Sahaja samadhi. I'm keeping it for now at nirvikalpa. But this nirvana state of the Buddha, that the yoga techniques and the yoga paths and the yoga practices, the yoga philosophy, the yogic metaphysics has a direction, has a certain star that it is trying to yoke, it's trying to reach. And that ultimate goal of yoga is nothing less than cosmic consciousness itself, which is expressed by different yogis, different mystics around the world in different ways. Different traditions have called it in different ways. So it's called enlightenment, it's called mystical union, it's called satori, like the Japanese, they call it satori. It's called nirvana by the Buddha and by the Buddhists, and Patanjali and the yogis call it nirvikalpa samadhi. The list of names for it is long, and yet there is a state of consciousness in which one surpasses this illusion of duality, of me and you, and I me and you are you, and this is me and that's yours, and this is mine, and this illusion that is coming from the attachment to our senses, to the information we gather from our senses, and to the movements of the mind, which constantly move in pluses and minuses, is yin and yang, yin and yang, yin and yang. And we are constantly missing the Tao, to continue with the yin yang language, the One, the Absolute, the Brahman, the Shiva consciousness, God the Father. We miss it again and again because we are like this. We are in the dance of the yin and the yang, and that void, that cosmic void, the shunyata, is eluding us. It's there all around, it's there everywhere in this universe at all times and outside of time and space. Even when this whole universe is resorbed, what will remain is Shiva. What will remain is that non-dual absolute consciousness. And the perfect accomplishment in yoga, as with every spirituality, is to know this perfect state of consciousness that is transcendental, immutable, perfect, free, non-dual, beyond, beyond the mind, beyond the movements of the mind, the ripples of the mind. And this is pretty much clear to most of you who I see here and I talk to, and to many of you who I don't see right now, but you will hear this either now on some other platform or in the next days as a recording. It should be clear that this is the ultimate accomplishment, the perfect accomplishment in yoga and all spiritualities. But then there are other levels of interpreting this thing with the perfect accomplishment. Keeping that one stays. The one I just defined, yes, that stays. That's always there. The purpose of yoga is nothing less than this one. Everything else, whichever other accomplishment may come from your yoga practice, is like an auxiliary benefit that you can have through the yoga practice. But like you have learned right in the first day of your yoga courses, that the purpose of yoga has always been and always will be, and I mean the real yoga, the original yoga, the traditional yoga, the yoga before the 1930s, before the Iyengars and Ashtanga yoga, I mean the Patabi Joyce version of it and the rest. And I'm not saying they are bad or evil, or I'm simply saying that's modern yoga. But modern yoga is only about 70, 80 years old. What were the mystics doing 1,000 years ago? What yoga was India making 1,000 years ago? Were the yogis making then? 500 years ago? What was the yoga of Gorakshanath, of Matsyendranath, of Geranda, who wrote the book Geranda Samhita, and Svatmarama, who wrote the Hatha Yoga Pradipika? What was the yoga of Patanjali some 2,000 years ago? Surely it wasn't Iyengar yoga, right? So I'm talking about that original yoga. Can have, as you've learned, other benefits, but the purpose of it is cosmic consciousness. And then, of course, if you also want some other things, yoga can give you a lot. What can yoga give you? Well, you know, yoga can improve your health tremendously and can even heal many, many diseases in a very natural way, provided you meet certain requirements. That's common sense. The diet has to be made natural, healthy and good. Your sleep patterns have to be made harmonious. The way you interact in terms of your sexuality has to be made harmonious. The way you feel emotionally, the way you think, the way you act, your beliefs, your values, your principles, or the lack of them, everything holistically has to be readjusted, has to be tuned to the frequencies of health, of healing, and then yoga can make marvelous healing. Is yoga made to heal? No. Yoga is made for cosmic consciousness. But applied in the direction of healing, especially the Hatha Yoga for healing, then Hatha Yoga is very, very effective for healing the body and, of course, making a good state of health. So people are interested in, when it comes to yoga, in apart from the cosmic consciousness goal, they're interested in the goal of making oneself more healthy or healing a particular kind of disease. And as an extension of this, they're interested in energizing, rejuvenating themselves, having more vitality, to invest that vitality in making money or making love or getting a PhD in something, right? Like I need energy, because if I don't have it, my battery is running out very quick and I don't have the juice, the mojo to do certain things in my life. People are coming to yoga in the same place of, in the same topic of health healing. They come because they want more sexual vitality and they want to invigorate themselves as men and women sexually, like more of the sexual libido and sexual energy. And all of that can be attained via the practices of yoga. The second reason why people look to yoga is they may have heard that yoga is improving the quality of one's life in so many different ways, starting with the most straightforward thing. You start making practices in yoga, asanas, pranayamas, bandhas, mudras, meditations with mantras, whatever you do in yoga, it takes the concentration of the mind. You have to put your mind to work. You have to focus the mind, because without this concentration, there is not going to be any yoga, as I'm going to insist upon this in a little bit. The mind has to stay focused, and most people are not taught how to concentrate their mind. And therefore, even in school, the kids are not taught this is your exercises to help you to concentrate on your studies, on your whatever you're doing, right? And some kids, few can, and many others are not concentrating. Yes? Well, when you make your yoga practices, you start working the muscle of concentration right from the beginning. And even if the muscle is flabby and pathetic, the more you use it, the stronger it goes. So in 3 months of making yoga, your concentration of the mind, just by doing yoga, nothing special for the concentration, just yoga, your concentration improves dramatically. And that improved concentration can go in your money making, it can go in your business, it can go in your hobbies, in your chess playing, in whichever direction you want to put more concentration, you have it. And then it keeps on developing. See, concentration is something which is indispensable, not just in yoga, but in any aspect of life, because even the ones who are people who make a ton of money and do great business and this, they focus. Even the people who get gold medals in sport, the 100-meter dash in the Olympic Games, have you seen those men and women before the race begins? The crowd is going, yay, you know, and these people are like in Pratyahara. They are interiorized. For them, there is no stadium, there's no cloud, there's only one thing, and that is the finishing line. That's all they see. It's like when Dronacharya in the story of the Mahabharata, when Dronacharya is taking an exam of his students, the 5 Pandava brothers and those Kaurava brothers. And he brings the oldest one, Yudhishthira, the wisest one. And then he made some kind of a contraption where there's a fish or a bird, I think it's a bird, and they had to shoot it with a bow and arrow. And he asks Yudhishthira, the oldest of the brothers, the wisest, what do you see? And he says, well, I see the bird, and what else you see? Well, I see the leaves of the tree and sky between. And then the guru gets really mad and says, shut up and get back. Like, you failed the test already. Calls the next one. Take aim. Wait, don't shoot. What do you see? This guy says, I see the leaves, I see the bird, I see. He gets bugged and he says, get out of here. Finally, he calls Arjuna. And Arjuna comes and he takes aim and he says, Arjuna, what do you see? And Arjuna says, I see the eye of the bird. And he says, do you see the sky? Arjuna says, all I can see is the eye of the bird, nothing else. And then Dronacharya is happy, and then Arjuna goes, boom, boom, straight in the eye of the bird. Concentration, right? So the people who do sport, when they have their big meets, you see them how they are completely interiorized. No, like I don't see the sky, I don't see the stadium, I don't see the people, I don't hear nothing. All I see is the finishing line. All I see is the eye of the bird. Because if they come to the, hey, mom, hey, before the race, they're almost surely going to lose. So my point is, concentration is a talent, a skill, something you develop, which comes in from yoga, which goes and migrates to every aspect of your life. Even your relationships, even your love making will improve because you can concentrate better, right? So, because yoga does this, not just concentration, but also it improves your willpower. When you have to make your Tadasana 10 minutes, you have to assert your willpower. When you have to make your Uddiyana Bandha and you want to go and increase from your 30 seconds to a minute, it takes slowly, getting there gradually, but you have to put your willpower into it. It grows the muscle of the willpower, which can influence and does influence then automatically every aspect of your life, right? I can't get up early. Oh, I can't do fasting. 3 months of yoga and you will get up early and you will do your fasting and do whatever you need to do, right? Because your willpower is increased. So one over the other, yoga is known to improve the quality of your life. And then, of course, there's the third reason why some people are engaging in yoga, not too many these days, because they don't even think what I say next is true. And that is for some kind of a paranormal effect, like clairvoyance. I want to see chakras, auras. I want to heal with my hands, levitate. I want to see the past, present, future, and so on and so forth. So that's another thing that yoga can give. Of course, that's not the thing that you get in 2 weeks of doing yoga. It takes months and years and a lifestyle that allows for those results to come, which means your sexual energy has to be under control. Your mind has to be very much under control. Your diet has to be pure in a certain sattvic way. You don't go into and interact with people who bring your consciousness down because I'm trying to put it there, and then I go in the market and boom, it's getting dragged back down by the collective subconscious. So there are rules. These are just few of them. Now, in this context, there are some things which we in our school have looked upon a lot, like what the priority focus of the school and the teachings of the school are. It's again and again and again. You hear whether it's Swamiji or whether it's Muktananda or whether it's whichever other Ananda or whoever other teachers teaching you, it's all revolving around evolution towards truth, evolution towards the true and unconditioned happiness, the spiritual freedom, the nirvana. Right from the first days of yoga till the end, this is where we are going, right? And this is where we will continue to go. However, there's a certain gap. There's a gap between the daily life, your daily life and my daily life, and that supreme realization in the sense of the yoga of the daily life. And what I mean to say here is, can yoga help me in my daily life? Not that I do yoga daily. Yeah, I don't mean yoga of the daily life. I can do karma yoga when I do my work. I can make sexual yoga, tantric sexual yoga when I make love. And I can make nidra yoga when I sleep at night. Plus you can make hatha yoga for 2, 3, 5 hours a day. And this and that and the rest. Yes, like your whole life can be full of yoga practice. I'm not meaning that. That's valid and that's true. But what I'm saying is, can yoga help you to improve your daily life in terms of attaining to certain accomplishments, daily life accomplishments? For example, someone has a disease, they want to heal the disease with yoga, right? I want to accomplish a healing with yoga. Now, we've heard a lot about that before, and some of you have had healings with yoga. But apart from the yoga practice itself, is there more in yoga that can help me to heal? And that will actually help my asanas and pranayamas, which I do towards a healing, to go faster, that I get faster results in terms of healing? And the answer is yes. Another example, people, apart from in spirituality, we have seen people are also interested in, say, great relationships. It's a modern trend. No one wants to be alone, like a monk or a nun. They want relationships. Everyone is running after relationship. And then they come and they say, okay, but relationships done the usual way is a catastrophe. It's a complete nightmare. And I've been there in those relationships. Now I want a relationship in God. I want a relationship with a man or a woman to the truth, where we go together hand in hand to cosmic consciousness, where we cultivate love for the ultimate beloved. We cultivate divine love. No, not this egocentric, pathetic love, not this love full of possession, attachment, jealousy, madness, desire, sexual attraction. That's not love. Emotionally based, like emotionally fueled love, desire fueled love. Oh God, baby, you're so hot, I love you. Oh my God, Walter, your dick is so good, I love you. No, not. And then what happens when the dick is not good anymore? And what happens when you're not that beautiful anymore? What happens when there comes friction in the relationship? People go squealing. Squealing. Here we have Barbara and Gail. Ask them how many years they've been together. Look at the modern people, how they are. They can't take even a little bit of pressure. The moment it gets hard, just back up and go and do the same shit with somebody else again. Chasing pleasure, trying to avoid pain. It's never going to work. So people say, I want a really good relationship. I want to attract a very good partner who fits with me astrologically, fits with me emotionally, psychologically, fits with me physically, fits with me sexually, in terms of desire, this, that, and we can have splendid sex, amazing tantric sex, that we can pray together. Oh, what a dream. Please, God, give me this man, give me this woman, right? So that's something people want. They have a desire for it. Question, can yoga help you to call that being, to materialize that reality into your life? Absolutely. Yoga can help you to attract your perfect relationship. I'm doing this perfect because, it's not from the outside. When you play perfect in the relationship, your relationship will be perfect. But at least to have the certain criteria, to begin with, like certain compatibility, attraction, aspiration together, right, towards love and eternal life. You don't find too many people out there walking on the road like this. But can yoga help you to manifest that partner into your life? The answer is yes. Yes. And therefore, when it comes to perfect accomplishment, we are, apart from the nirvana thing, we are also looking upon the things of the daily life. And this workshop that's coming up in next week is specifically made to focus upon the yoga in accomplishing your goals of the daily life, whatever they are. Some people, they want to buy something. I need a new refrigerator for my house. I need a new family car for my family. The old one is a, heap of metal, and now it's time to upgrade to a new car for the family. But you know what? It's going to eat a lot of the savings and this and that, right? Some people they want to buy some stuff. Some people want to sell things. There's something you have. Let's say you have a camera. It's a very good camera, functioning camera, but you want to upgrade your camera. So you want to sell this one and get another one, right? Can yoga help you to sell your camera efficiently and quickly and get the other one you want efficiently and quickly? Yes, it can. Can yoga help you to get that car or refrigerator you want? Yes, it can. Can yoga help you to have much more money than you have right now, which you want? Yes, it can. And yes, many, many people, especially people in the yoga things, like we have in our school, we all know that we can all do very well with a lot more money. And then some people say, oh, come on, is this what the yoga of the perfect accomplishment is for? And they play all this self-righteous, holy kind of a thing. And I'm saying, listen, whatever you want, yoga can give you. If you play some kind of a fake self-righteous, or moral, superficial moral thing, oh, but I'm not interested in money and this, that, and the rest, that's up to you. I'm saying with yoga, you can make a ton of money also. You can bring the money into your life. Why? Because what is yoga? I told you right in the beginning, yoga is about making resonance with the energies of the universe. And the universe is an inexhaustible source of energy and potentiality and potentials. If you can think it, there is a possibility in the universe for it to happen. It's the bottom line. If you can think it, it can happen. But you see, because of an education, the way we've been educated, even as little kids, when we've been, especially as little kids, when we've been so completely on the subconscious mind, kids till the age of 7, and especially till the age of 5, are very much on the subconscious. Their conscious mind has not yet developed. It's around 6, 7, and after 7, the conscious mind really develops. Before that, you tell a kid, hey, little one, 3 years old, yeah, little Walter, you are now a cat. And the kid goes, meow, 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 right? If I tell you you're a cat, what will you say? Say, sure, right. But the kids are like in a state of hypnosis. And then whatever is going in there and is becoming a part of its subconscious mind. But when you grew up, did you grow up with parents who were thinking like this? The universe is an abundant mother. It's a shopping mall in which there is plenty and more than plenty for everyone. And whatever you want, you can get easily and quickly from your cosmic mother, Shakti, this universe. You grew up like this? Or did you hear, there's not enough around, take care, life is hard, money doesn't grow on trees, and the like, right? Yes, this is what has been put in all of our subconscious mind, not once. Not just in, they didn't, apart from telling you, hey, you little Sally, be careful, you broke another glass. Oh my God, what a tragedy. A drinking glass, you broke one. Money doesn't grow on trees. Apart from saying that shit, as a kid, you pick it up in the environment because everyone is living like this. They're telepathically inducing their thoughts to you, the thoughts of mediocrity, the thoughts and the resonance, therefore, of lack. I could talk to you 1 week, maybe 1 year non-stop, and give you thousands of examples about this. But you know as well as I know how you think, the way you think in terms of what you want for your life. I'm putting aside spirituality for now, okay? Just putting in a little bit, not like just a bit to the side, because I'm focusing here on your life, your daily life. Yes? That thing with love and consciousness and wisdom, that stays. But what about down to earth over here? What about when it comes to putting food on your table? What about when it comes to driving a good car and having a nice house? What about this? How do you think about that part? And the big question I want to ask you is, are you in yoga because you're a loser in life? Meditate upon this one. It's a deep, really meditate upon it. Because too many people come running to spirituality because they suck in daily life. And listen, if one comes in spirituality because they suck in daily, like I'm not good enough for the world, and therefore I'm trying to escape in spirituality, this is not a big chance it's going to work. Buddha, Siddhartha, didn't suck at daily life. He was a very accomplished young man, very intelligent, very, very accomplished in the different arts, including art of fighting and whatnot, very accomplished. When he left the world, he didn't leave the world because he sucked at it. He left the world because he saw it's an illusion in an illusion, a dream within a dream. He saw through with his wisdom and vigilance that this is all impermanent. And he was going in the search of what's permanent. It wasn't a chickening out because he wasn't good enough for the world. See? Swami Shivananda was a medical doctor before he became a yogi. He was good for the world. He had estate, he had money, he had kids, he had done the thing. So What I'm saying is, would you like to be more accomplished in the world? And can yoga help you to get those accomplishments, perfect accomplishments in the world? And the answer is an absolute yes. But for that, there's going to be required reformatting of your software over here, reformatting of your subconscious mind, reformatting of big reformatting of your subconscious mind. Like it's almost like wipe the thing out and put new data in. But of course, you're not going to wipe everything because you can't function without if your subconscious wiped out. We have to wipe out this shitty stuff, and there's a lot of it there. Look, I'll give you an analogy. I don't have one here. Imagine a bottle of water. I'm going towards most people's resonance and relationship with money. And once again, listen, this world we live in, it's run by money. Even power, I mean worldly, worldly power. I'm not speaking about the inner power that comes in centeredness in the Supreme Self. I'm talking about the external power here. Even power is ultimately coming from money. The more money you have, the more power you have in this world we live in. In this time of Kali Yuga where we are, money is the law. Money rules. You see? And there are people who still deny it. They are still living in some kind of a false golden age in their head where this is not true. Well, if you keep thinking, oh, but I don't need money, this, that, you'll be a hippie somewhere, doing yoga on the beach. Good, do it. But if you want to be a big teacher and teach thousands of students, you're going to need a big yoga hall. Beach won't be good enough. And to make a big hall to teach 1,000 students, you're going to need big cash, big money. Money and the physical things of your life can be used if you keep your inner vigilance and your goal correct, your goal in God, your goal in truth, then they can all be used towards reaching that goal. They can serve in reaching that goal. At the same time, when you don't have that goal clear, then the same money becomes your downfall. Your money becomes your path to excessive shopping, fulfilling all kinds of egocentric desires, investing your life in the pursuit of materialism, more greed. And of course, along with that, there comes pride, ego. Oh, me, you know what? I have millionaire, billionaire, oh, me, yeah. And all that stuff, right? And that's what you see most often. You see, even on the island here, I see sometimes people with a lot of money, and they're driving in the jeeps, beer bottle, cigarette, like I'm so cool. Swami Shivananda had money. He got a lot of donations from people. Swami Shivananda made a printing press and printed books on yoga, which you and I read today. He lived, I've seen his quarters in Rishikesh, in his ashram. You can go and see yourself. Very humble. Very, very humble. Like those plastic chairs. This chair I'm sitting on is like 10, 100 times better than Shivananda's chair he was sitting and writing. It's like very simple. So much money. But he lived very modest, and he put the money in serving God. He put it in the service of truth. He built the ashram. He built the bridge that goes across the Ganga, which today, if you go in Ramjula area in Rishikesh, that bridge you walk across called Ramjula was made by Shivananda. They built it after he died, but it was his thing. It was his vision. Let there be a bridge over here. See, money can be used. If this world is run on money, why should the money serve demonic purposes? Why should it serve making more greed, more war, more stupidity? We can use money and put it in service of God. And that service of God means that you should have a very good life also, which means if you buy a car, then have a great car. If you have a house, make a fantastic house. Listen, we are on the path of Tantric Yoga. We are not ascetics. The ascetics, which go away from the world, monks, nuns, Buddhists, and the rest of them, That's their way, it's their path. And for their path, that's what works. It's correct for them. The path, the ascetic philosophy, for reasons which I'm not going to now, and some of you know already, it's go away from life. This world is a dream in a dream, as Buddha did. Now dump it all and go find the truth. It's samsara, it's maya, it's the devil. The prince of this world is the devil, says the Bible. Dump it and go find salvation, find the kingdom of heaven, find nirvana, and be free. But as long as you stay in the world and play with money, relationship, sex, this and that, you're going to be completely drowning in it, and there's going to be no freedom, ultimate freedom, no truth. So let's pack the bags and get out. That's the ascetic way. And on the ascetic path, there is no fancy house and fancy car and no money and no nothing and no sex and no relationship and no nothing. There's simply prayer, meditation, yoga, chastity, and giving up, renouncing everything worldly, everything. Tantric Yoga has a different approach. It's just a different approach. And Tantric Yoga says that all this world, which is a big delusion, oh yeah, a big illusion, oh, the Maya, the samsara, right, the big boogeyman, is actually the Divine Mother. It's Shakti. It's the consort of Shiva. It is Shiva manifested. And if you know how to look, wherever you look, all you'll see is Shiva, all you'll hear is Shiva, all you'll feel is Shiva, all you taste and all you'll smell is Shiva. That this divine consciousness is everywhere, in this matter, in this flesh. It's everywhere. But the average human being does not have the ability to perceive it. And Tantra says, why piss upon the world, which is your Divine Mother, the macrocosm, the universe? Worship her, pray to her, love her. And this Divine Mother will bless you with everything good in this manifestation. Health, wealth, prosperity, sex, goodness, relationship, whatever you want. And she'll take you to Shiva also. So Tantra's approach is different, and we are Tantrics. Please think in this is a big job that is remaining in the course that's coming up, which is about cleaning the subconscious mind, just like I've done with many of you in Tantra workshops before. Because people come to Tantra, sexual Tantra, and with this whole thing that sex is a sin. How can sex and spirituality go together? Because Buddhism, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Hinduism, and the rest of them go against sex. And then Tantra comes and says, sex is a way to God. And you can't believe it. You say, it's too good to be true. It's not possible. How can it be? And then it takes me more than a day to explain to you why sex is a sin for the ascetics and how the tantrics have twisted the game, shuffled the game, and shown you that sex not only is a path to spirituality when done with vigilance, when done with wisdom, when done with the right motivation, but can be a very, very quick path towards cosmic consciousness, right? But for that, to go into it fully, my dear friends, your mind, conscious and subconscious, has to be all systems go. Because if your conscious mind says, okay, great, sex and spirituality, fine. And your subconscious mind goes, bullshit. There's no way. Sex is a sin. The Judeo-Christian Islamic God hates sex. Remember what happened to Adam and Eve? It's not going to work. It cannot work. Because some part of you is giving a green light and a very big part of you is giving a red light. And you're like, go, not go, go, not go, go, not go. And it's not going to work. Everything has to be aligned in the go. Same thing goes with your material fulfillment, with your down-to-earth fulfillment here. If your mind, and I guarantee your mind is doing this shit, my mind does it till today. We are all under this curse. And if your mind is going, oh yeah, but if I would become a billionaire, then how can I call myself a yogi? I give you an example. I'm telling you about a guru of mine from the Himalayas of India. And I tell you, oh, my guru, when he prays, he flies in the air. And when he blesses, instantly, the blessing materializes. I praise him a lot. And his Sahasrara is so big and so shining that when you look at him and his Sahasrara is shining, you can't see anymore, blah, 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 blah. And you say to me, oh Mukta, we'd like to meet this great guru from the Himalayas. And I said, okay, I will contact him telepathically. No need for mobile phones because he's so big, right? That even when a poor Mukta thinks of him, he's there. And I'm telling him, Guruji, look here, my friends over here, my students, they want to visit from you. Would you come? And then I tell you, by the way, Guruji said yes. And now we are waiting for him. Let's say on Kopangan. No, you're all here. And now he's coming. And then there comes a taxi. And then the dude let's say he's about 50 years old, okay? He comes out, he's dressed, he looks like Mahatma Gandhi he's dressed very simply, very, very simple. Shirt, pant, white in color, very cotton kind of a thing. And he comes out, says namaste to you, we go to the yoga hall, and he gives a satsang, right? And you're all like, wow, 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 good. That's example number 1. Now comes example number 2. Oh, and by the way, he's celibate also. He's completely celibate. Now comes the example. And now example number 2 is the guru's coming, but this time there stops in front of our campus a swanky sports car, real expensive, like a high-end Porsche or something. And it's a Lamborghini whose doors open this way. Okay, let's say it's a Lamborghini. And then the door gets up like that, and out comes a dude. It's the same guy, okay? He's the same guy. But he's dressed like he's got billions of dollars. Gold, Rolex, this, that. Like really, really top notch. His car is tops, and his dressing is tops. And then the other door opens, and 2 hot chicks come out from there. And then he wears them by the arms, and they walk to the yoga hall to give you the satsang, right? It's the same guy, all right? But this time he's not celibate, and he's having tons and tons of money. Now I'm asking you be really honest to yourself. Which of these 2 would you feel, oh, I'm going to listen to? Spiritually. As your spiritual teacher, who are you going to take on? It's the same guy. Yes? And he's giving the same satsang, word by word, the same satsang. Is it the same thing for you? I can guarantee with the second example, you'd be like, this is such bullshit, it can't be. No, how can it be? Look at this. He's spilling money from his pockets, he's oozing with it. He's banging around big time. Look at those hot chicks with him. How many more is there where he comes from? Who knows, right? It can't be. He can't be spiritual. If he's rich and he has sex, he can't be spiritual, right? That means Tantra is still not seeped into your brains yet. Because Abhinavagupta was very, very spiritual. He was considered the greatest and the biggest of all tantrics while he was alive. His reputation goes, no one has come beyond that, even close to that, even till today, 1,000 years later. Abhinavagupta was rich, and he was making love with 2 women. He had money, nice house, very nice clothes, and he was not celibate. He was doing brahmacharya, but not with celibacy. Active sexual brahmacharya, the sexual retention through the lovemaking, right? But the mind says, nee, 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 nee. Here's another story. King Janaka. King Janaka was an enlightened king in old India. He was the father of the Rama's wife, Sita. And King Janaka was a yogi with a guru, and then he was also king. He was a king who was also a yogi. And he had reached cosmic consciousness. Now, later on, while this guy was a king, doing his karma yoga, dharma as a king, the guru had another disciple in the forests, and they were doing ascetic things. At some point, the guru said, now, for your next lessons, I can't teach it to you here in the forest. Now I have to teach, you have to learn the lessons that you have now got to learn in the palace of King Janaka. He is now going to be your guru. I've talked to him. He'll be your master now. He's an enlightened guru like I am, and he'll be taking charge of you. So go and give your discipleship and you surrender to King Janaka. Now this dude, this young yogi, was very egocentric. And he was like, what? I'm a Brahmin. You want me to bow down to a king? The Brahmins are higher in that old caste system than the kings, than the Kshatriyas. You want me to be a student of a king? No. And in a palace, he was very proud about his ascetic lifestyle, that he was sleeping on the hard ground in the forest, walking on thorns, this, that, and the rest. I'm so tough. Spartan, Who wants all this comforts of a palace? That's for pussies, right? You're not a yogi if you're in a palace. You have to be Spartan to be a yogi. This is how people think. This is how you think. And his guru said, shut up and go. So he goes. It's a long walk through the forest. He reaches late at night. He's dead tired. He enters the palace. He sees the king on a throne. Women are dancing. Music is playing. Wine is being poured. Like it's a luxury of the senses, right? And he gets really mad internally. It's like, where's my guru sent me? This is a world of sin and I'm coming here to learn yoga. What kind of bullshit is this? So he goes up to the king, bows, but not very respectful. And he says, I'm so-and-so and my guru, blah, blah, blah. And King Janaka tells him, yes, I can see that, but it doesn't look like you have the right attitude to learn anything over here. At which this fellow goes completely berserk and he says, yeah, what the fuck? Look at this, look at that, Women, wine, blah, blah, blah. I'm leaving now. And King Janaka says, okay, sayonara, go back. Because I can't teach you nothing if you come like this. So go back to our guru and tell him you refuse to learn and I sent you back. Ciao, ciao. So this guy's about to leave and then the king says, but hold on, young man, think again. You see, how many hours did you spend in the forest to come here walking? And now it's nighttime and you're going to go back? He says, wouldn't it be wise? And you're tired, yeah? You're tired, aren't you? Wouldn't it be wise to stay one night here in the palace? Even if you don't like it. Stay one night. Tomorrow morning when the sun is rising, go. You're rested. It's not so dangerous as it is in the night. Go in the daytime. Don't you think it's smart? And the guy says, king is right with this one. I'll have to stay here for the night, So he says, okay. The king gets a room, a bed prepared, this, that. And then the king tells him, he takes him to the chambers where he's going to sleep and he shows him the bed. And the bed is really nice. And this guy's aching bones are like, man, I could just melt into it, So the king says, here's a bed, you'll sleep on the bed, have a good night, bye-bye. And the king goes. And this dude, he sleeps, he lies on the bed and it's like, he's so tired, He's about to fall asleep and the bed is so comfortable. Even he can't deny that one. And he's like, and then as he's about to close his eyes, he sees on top, hanging, just above his chest, a sword pointing right at him. It's hanging. And it's hanging by a very, very thin thread, like a hair or something, very thin. And this guy's like, what the? That can break any time. It's such a heavy sword, which has such a thin support, plus the wind or whatever. It could fall on him and kill him anytime. So he's just lying there looking at the sword. He can't sleep. Now you'll say, why didn't he just get up and sleep on the floor? Because he's always sleeping on the floor. Because the king said, this is the bed. You have to sleep on the bed. It was, there's a certain rules, you see. So he couldn't just go to the floor. So he's lying there all night and he can't sleep. Next morning, the king comes and says, did you sleep well? Was the bed comfortable? Are you rested? And blah, blah. This guy is now 10 times more angry. And he says, yes, the bed was comfortable. But sleep, how could I sleep? What is this? What kind of joke have you done to me over here? And the king said, listen, kid, before you leave today, I wanted to give you one lesson. And that lesson is this. You were tired. The bed was comfortable. And you could have slept really well, but you could not sleep at all. Why? Because there was a sword hanging over your neck. And you had to be vigilant, alert, and awake to avoid any tragedy if that sword would fall upon you, right? And the dude said, yes. And the king said, you see a palace. You see women dancing, wine flowing, music, and this and that and the rest. And he says, It's true. I live in a world of abundance and a world of material prosperity. And he says, however, I am also constantly aware of the sword that is hanging over my neck, says the king. He says its name is death. It's hanging over all our necks. And he says, and because I'm ever vigilant about it, I am never asleep. I am always awake. Through the wine and through the music and through the dancing and through the whatever, I am awake. The king was giving him a lesson in Tantra. The king was showing him that your beggar way in the forest is one way. You want that way? You want to be a beggar in the forest? Then go fully there, go full on there. Don't be half-assed and say, well, I want to be a little bit here with one foot in the world. And at the same time, I'm thinking like this guy, that money is a sin. That if you have money, sex, and whatever pleasures of the world, you can't do spirituality and you can't be spiritual. Then go fully ascetic. Renounce the world and go there. But if you're going to be in the world, then adopt the attitude of the Tantrics. And that is, everything in the world is Shakti. Everything is a divine mother. You can have as much of it as you want in plentiful, in amounts that you cannot even conceive right now. And again, if you can think it, it's possible. In this quantum field, as the quantum physics say, or in this infinite field of possibility, as some of the Deepak Chopra people say, or in this world of Shakti, everything is possible. And yoga can teach you the means to stretch your hand out and get it. That stretching your hand out can be via the asanas. You've done them, many of you have done them. But in the workshop coming, we are adding something more. Like not just do an asana. Let's say you have a goal. You want to attract the right relationship for you. Then there's a structure on how to think, which is what I'm going to transmit to you. When you have a goal, you have to match it to what chakra that goal corresponds to. And do certain practices on that. I'm giving you some hints already. Do certain practices on that chakra. But not just do it just like that. But you add in certain visualizations, certain affirmations, certain self-suggestions. You move your Kundalini Shakti in that particular direction, and then your goal manifests much, much, much faster. That's why in this workshop, for the days that we do it, and I'm sorry, but right now I forget how many days it is. I think it's 4 days or 5 days or something like that. I can't remember. The point is, we're going to take a goal. You're going to take a worldly goal. And via the things that you do in this workshop, you want to see an accomplishment of that goal. Of course, something realistic for a 4-day workshop. If you take a goal like, in the next 4 days, I'm going to be a multi-millionaire. I'm going to have $12.5 million in my bank in 4 days. It's like, it's possible. It is possible. But can your mind believe it? Can you believe it's possible? So therefore, you're going to take a goal that's much more challenging. Like it's on the edge where it's like, I don't know if I can do this. I've been waiting to make my house be on rent for 6 months and it's not yet gone on rent because of this COVID madness and whatnot. Well, I'm going to take a project that in the next 2 weeks from the time this workshop starts, it will be rented. And I'll make the yoga that will be rented. And you're like, I don't know if I can, if that's going to, there's a doubt. But it's not absurd. You think, okay, I could do it. It can be done, right? You want to push your limits a bit because the biggest obstacle, the biggest number one obstacle to you not having what you want in your material daily life is your doubt. That's what it is. You don't believe it can happen. Or if you believe it's a very superficial, really. Your subconscious mind is not in it with you. Your conscious mind says yes, your subconscious mind says, no way, Jose, that ain't going to happen. No, it can't happen. For whatever reason. So we are going to take a project and then when you succeed at it, whether you take your goal like in 4 days, I'm going to achieve this. It has to be realistic. I'm going to teach you how to formulate goals, how to set the goals, how to do the yoga practice to make those goals happen. Faster, quicker, more efficient, right? But you can take a goal that can be accomplished in 10 days, 2 weeks, even a month. And when you succeed at it and it happens, and it will happen, if you do the yoga for it, it's going to happen, then you'll have much more faith. It's like, wow, I had my doubts, but I did this stuff, it worked. If I can do this, what else can I do? And then you yourself will take on another one. And you'll succeed at this. And then slowly, as you do smaller, you achieve your targets, small targets, and you achieve them. And yet there were targets which until now were not really possible. You tried like this renting thing and it didn't happen. You did Facebook ads and it didn't happen. You wrote ads on wherever, it didn't happen. And now you did this 2 weeks later, 1 month later, it got done, right? Your faith increases. And your faith in what? In the power of your own mind. You see, ultimately, it's all the mind. The Tibetan yogis, the Indian yogis, they tell us again and again that this whole universe that you perceive through your senses, through your mind, and you think is outside of you, is a projection of your own mind, unconscious, like you don't know how your mind does it. See, says the yoga tradition, Shiva creates the whole universe with his Shambhavi mudra. Shiva is emitting like a beam from his third eye the whole universe and keeps it in existence. And when the time of the universal dissolution comes, Shiva takes it all back into the void, back to Sahasrara, back to zero, right? Well, as above, so below. Law of correspondence. And the human being is doing the same. Only Shiva, the human being, the average human being, doesn't have that clarity, doesn't have that lucidity, doesn't have that power in ajna to know it's happening and to actually bend reality with the mind. Padma Sambhava could take reality and twist it any way he wanted. One day the village was celebrating his birthday, Guruji's birthday. They made a little party, flutes and hats and 8th century dancing. They said, Guruji, can you put a relic for us? Do something, do some. And Padma Sambhava was dancing on some rocks. And he said, okay, here's a little present for you. And then he's dancing and he puts his feet into the rock. Just like you put your feet, like those Hollywood people put their hands in cement, right? And then the cement dries up and then you got those hands stuck in there. I mean, not the imprint. This guy is dancing on rocks and simply puts his feet in the rock and says, here, I've seen it with my own eyes. They put it on exhibitions, sometimes in some parts of northern India where the Tibetan thing is there. I was like, he just puts his feet in the rock. What can this guy not do? What can Padma Sambhava's mind can take the sun and turn it square if he wants? Of course, he doesn't, because he's wise. See, at that level of mental power, at that level of Ajna Chakra activation, and where you know that the whole universe is your mind, materialized, externalized, and everything in the universe is a ripple in your own mind, then you spin the universe on your fingertips. You can do anything and everything. And yet, as the mystics say, even though at that level of consciousness, everything can be done, not everything is allowed by the divine will. The people like Padmasambhava and Milarepa, who could twist the universe on their fingertips, they still don't say, you know what, just because I can, now the sun is going to look like a triangle. And next morning you wake up, you look out and you see a triangle out there, golden in color. And you say, what the heck happened here? And of course, if the sun becomes triangle, you'll become a triangle also. Basically, it'll be everything is going to go haphazard, right? And there's a certain divine will. And these great mystics, they don't infringe on the divine will. They stay in, they say everything can be done now. But not everything is allowed. Even Jesus, how much do you think Jesus could have done? Whether it be when he was on the cross, and they were doing that shenanigans on him. Could he have done something else? He could have. And yet he says, your will be done. He could have healed another. How many people did he wake up from the dead? 3, 4? I don't remember. Could have made 400 people get up from the dead. And yet, that much was allowed by the divine consciousness. And that's what he did. See? So, while everything can be accomplished, not everything is allowed. And you have to stay in those parameters. But point is, between the mind of Milarepa and your mind, there's a huge gap. Huge gap. And somewhere in there, there comes the yoga of perfect accomplishment that tells you, okay, I don't have the mind of Milarepa, but I don't want my mind to be the mind of the average Tom, Dick, and Sally, which simply is experiencing reality as a victim. Either the pluses and the minuses. How about you want to create the reality you want to live? You make the reality you want to live. Well, this universe is having unlimited and untapped potential. And given the right yoga, and this is the yoga of the mind principally, doubt is an impurity in your mind. And faith is one of the greatest qualities you can build, one of the many great qualities you can build in your Ajna chakra. I mean, you do have faith in stupid things. I'm not good enough. I can't make money enough. You believe things, don't you? I may not be able to convince you of the opposite even because you believe it so strongly. Those are the impurities in your Ajna chakra. In this workshop, we're going to polish it out. No, we're going to start the process of cutting the crap and start put your faith in the right things. You are ultimately Shiva. You may deny it, you may not see it, you may not know it, it's too far away from you, but that's God's truth. You are that. And every potency, every possibility that Shiva has, you have. And if you make yourself just 10% better with your mind, let's forget Padmasambhava. Let's forget that. But if you make your mind 10% better, you can have everything you want in your life, material, in matters of your heart and relationships, and in matters of spirit. This is what the workshop is about, the yoga of the perfect accomplishment. You decide a goal, accomplish it. Take another goal, accomplish it with the yoga. And of course, remember, there's the spiritual goal. That's the ultimate goal. That's the number one goal. As long as you have that goal there with you, and you're actively working on it, you can have another 100 goals, the small ones, more money, good relationship, great sex, this, that, and the rest. No, I want to sell my house and to buy this house. All of that goes. And by doing the yoga for it, it's fast, it's efficient, and you don't have to break your head and spend too much on it. That goal is there, is the superior goal, it's the priority goal. Like, do you need to work for money, for example? Oh yeah, you have to work hard for money. Money comes with hard work, right? Bullshit. I'll leave you with this one. I was telling you about the water bottle thing. Listen, it's all a resonance, my dears. Imagine you have a water bottle and your 1 liter water bottle, yes? And you're drinking, whatever happened, and now there's this much left in your 1 liter, there's this much left in it, right? Now, when there's a little bit of water left in your bottle, and I ask you and say, my dear, I'm really thirsty. Can I have some water? What do you say? You say, here it is. Take it. And I say, I just want a sip. And you say, not a sip. Finish it. Have it, man. You're thirsty, right? Drink it. I said, really? I can finish your water? And you're saying, of course you can finish it. Drink the water, please. Be my guest. And I finish up your water, right? Yes? Or do you look at your water, which is now this much, and say, no? Do you freak out? What? You want my last bit of water? Oh, but what will be left for me? I'll never have water if I... Oh, no, you can't have my water. Is that how you are? When your water is getting over, do you get paranoid? Do you get stressed? Do you worry? Oh my God, water, I don't have water. I'll never have water. This, that. Do you? No. You take your last bit of water, you pour it in the plant, you drink it up, and then you know you're going to get water when you want it. easily and effortlessly, right? Yes or no? You have no stress about water, or do you? Now, when the wallet is becoming thinner, when the bank account is becoming slimmer, do you do the same? And then I'm saying, hey, listen, I really need $500 and you have 600 in your account, right? What do? No, man. I'm on my last 500 or 600. I can't give you 500. It's no way. Right? And then stress, worry. When will I make money? This is what's happening, correct? Why? Because the way your mind resonates with the thing called water and the way your mind attunes to what is called money are not the same. The reason water flows in your life easily is because the whole life, your mind, your conscious, subconscious mind, is tuned in a way with the universe that when you want water, water's coming. It's coming. You have no doubt about it, do you? Right? You know what? If you grew up in a desert where there's almost no water and people are dying of no water again and again and again, right? And then you came to a world like this, you'd be shit stressed for water. But you didn't live in that world, did you? And water was abundant, and water is still abundant for you today. Why? Because it's your mind. That's why. And if you made your relationship with water at this level, like your relationship is right now with money, you'd be damaged goods. Because then what will happen is if you simply transplant the way you think about money and your resonance with money, conscious and subconscious, okay, we're back. Thumbs up, please. Yeah. So I was saying, if you transplanted your resonance with money, most of you, let's say, on water, water would not be abundant and easy to get anymore because it's ultimately just about the mind. But what if you took your resonance with water and put it on money? I'm just using money as an example. Put it on whatever else. Basically, water is abundant. Water is easy to get, and I can get water whenever I want and as much as I want, and I can share it freely with whoever I want. What if that one went on your money thing? How would life be then? This is what we want to do. Not just with money, with all the good things of this material world. Because we are tantrics, we want to live like Abhinava Gupta. We want to live like King Janaka. We want to be kings in this world and have the best of everything because it can be used well. The more you have here, the more you can provide, the more you can give, the more you can heal, the more you can feed, the more you can serve in so many ways. And we are taking Shakti to Shiva. Money to God, sex to God, emotions to God, energy to God. Everything is sublimed towards that. This is what the workshop is about, yoga of the perfect accomplishment. Enough of it, my dears. Thank you for listening. And it's so nice to see all of you. We conclude now with a grateful thought towards Shiva. And I hope to see many of you in the workshop next week. Good night and namaste.